tonight's subject is returning to their own vomit. Sorry if it's a bit of a disgusting title. It's just the thought of, how dogs, do they say they go back and lick up their own vomit? Ugh. It's that pretty much what the BBC, and not just the BBC, ITV. Actually, in this case, the story we're going to look at tonight is ITV. It's the people who are returning to their own vomit, but I think we'll see it from across all mainstream media. All the news outlets and propaganda machines will be reminding us that we're 5 years since this guy who you see on screen, Salman Abedi, went into the Manchester Arena, the MEN Arena, where what was that woman's name, was playing Dangerous Woman Tour. I can't even think of the name, it's gone, but yeah, anyway, during a big concert, just as they were all about to leave, he supposedly detonated a pressure cooker full of whatever, I don't know, screws, gunpowder, they didn't ever say. I don't know how he managed to power a pressure cooker without using sockets, but who knows, I guess that's why he was carrying the big backpack round, hey. Ridiculous story. A lot of people made some very good videos pointing out just how ridiculous the whole story is. The video we just watched in the pre-show was one of the supposed victims. They were all about the age of, I don't know, they were all in their, I think one of them was supposed to be 9 o'clock going to a concert. Perhaps, yeah, a lot of rubbish came out, and it's been thoroughly dissected by some wonderful YouTubers. Philip Wright, evening, greetings, thanks for joining us in the live chat. Yeah, how are things your end of the country, Philip? I believe you're up in the place where this actually happened, Manchester, if I'm not mistaken. And if so, yeah, I'd be interested to hear how. I am pretty sure you're from Manchester, unless I'm thinking of another person. Philip Wright, still no CCTV of the so-called explosion. No, just like there's still no CCTV of Roy Larner, as we talked about. That was a separate story that happened a couple of months later. Yeah, there were 3 attacks happened in 2017. We had the London Bridge, Westminster Bridge, where a truck supposedly came on and run down a load of people. Then we had, yeah, that was in March, I believe. Then in April, or was it? We had the MEN Arena. And then later on, I believe in August, we had the Borough Market. So they really hammered Britain with a heck of a lot of productions, as it were. Philip Wright, not bad. You're in Manchester. Is much coming up about this story in your neck of the woods? I'd be curious to know. I know. And do you see the B logo everywhere? I mean, I've seen it here in my local town. It does come up everywhere. It's not just exclusive to Manchester, but yeah, it's attached to a little cottage just next to a church. And I could probably find it on maps, actually. Maybe we'll have a look at it if we get a chance. Right. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen and we'll look at some of the stuff getting reported. As I said, the dogs are returning to their own vomit. Literally. Let me just share my screen a second. Right. Before we start, there's a few ways that if you would like to support this channel and say, you know what, Bobby, we enjoy the content you put up, and just to say thanks, we will hit the like button, we'll hit the thumb up button. If you want to be a bit more ambitious than that, I do have a Patreon account, which people are welcome to follow me on. Just scan the QR code. I do put content up there which is available for anyone to read, but most of any content that I put up will be will usually be firstly available to subscribers. So if you want to support the channel and see some of my work before it's published free, then yeah, go to patreon.com/BZLive. Alternatively, if you feel these videos are the sort of thing you're comfortable sharing on social media, then yeah, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and share. And they are a few ways you can encourage me, let me know, yeah, we like the stuff you put up, we agree with it, we don't agree with it, whatever. Always good to get some feedback. Big thanks to my supporter, Linda Mack. Thanks for continuing to support me over on Patreon. You're in a very exclusive club. Maybe, right. Okay, yeah, some of the stories. Philip Wright says, president of my local golf club has a B tattoo with the date of it on his arm. I'm pretty sure it was the 22nd of the 4th, or was it of the 5th? 2204. Yeah, of course, 5 years since that happened, and yeah, 5 years since I started making YouTube videos. Not, well, specifically on the coverage mainstream media gives us of everything. Yeah, I remember I'd come across a few things in some of the footage, and I was going to YouTubers, some big, big channels around at the time, saying, "Hey, have you seen this part of the footage?" Thinking, they should cover this. It's of interest. And when they didn't, I thought, you know what, I'll do it myself. Why don't I make some videos? Because I am familiar with uploading to YouTube. Quite a simple process. A lot of, Philip Wright, 22nd of May, that's correct. Yeah, I remember it happened just after I came back from a trip to Centre Parks in my old employment. I used to support people on holiday sometimes, and we'd just come back from Centre Parks, and on, I think, was it a Tuesday or something, or a Monday or a Tuesday, because I've got a feeling it was a school night, I don't know why. Right, I'll share my screen and we'll have a look at an example of the press going back to their own lies. It's like they never know just when to leave well alone. I hope my screen's lined up okay. Right, apparently football game marks the approaching 5th anniversary of the arena bombing. So they've got some of the biggest names probably in football to take part in a match. Oh, some of the biggest former names in football, at least, have taken on a group of celebrities in a football game to mark the approaching 5th anniversary. It's interesting, former footballers and current footballers are basically celebrities. Yeah, to help those affected by that terrible night. The event, called Manchester Remembers, I hope you're remembering Philip Wright. I hope, yeah. Well, of course, you're here with us now remembering, so we're doing our own part in paying our tribute. The event, called Manchester Remembers, was organised by former police officer Aaron Lee. Didn't the police get criticised or something? He was one of the first on the scene during the attack in 2017 and is still in close contact with many of the affected families. I'm sure that contradicts... Oh, it's a fire chief who went to bed after hearing about the attack is sacked. I was sure there was some of the emergency services who were criticised quite heavily during this, and it must have been the fire brigade. Meanwhile, the first police officer on there, fire chief who went to bed after hearing about the terror attack, is sacked from his 130 grand a year job after an internal complaint. I'm guessing that was nothing to do with this, because you don't wait 5 years to dismiss someone, surely. You don't make an internal complaint. Well, maybe you do. Mr. Keeland had 130 assistant county fire officer He was suspended in December after reports criticising GMFRS over terror policy. Imagine that. Imagine being a fire brigade worker, head manager, and you've got enough work to do already, I'm sure. You've got enough crap to write about, let alone when they tell you to write about something which, oh goodness me, which didn't even happen, which is basically just a publicity stunt. And shocking as that may be to people who accept what the press tell them, it's the reality. His suspension came a week after a report concluded GMFRS, I guess that's Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Services, remains unprepared to respond effectively to a terror attack, probably because they've never had one, never had a real one, 4 years after the arena bombing. It also came months after he apologised. Let's zoom in a little bit for you. Hopefully the image is lined up okay. Well, don't get that big. Huh. I'll try and line it up as best I can. Right, here we go. However, it is not believed his dismissal is related to the arena bombing. No, of course it isn't. It's probably related to him saying, I'm not writing policies based on a media event, something that never happened. So they've said, you're out the door, but 5 years. The decision is subject to a right of appeal, and therefore it wouldn't be appropriate to comment. That's not a video, is it? No. They will, of course, show us a bit of footage, though. The inquiry heard that first firefighters entered the scene at 12:49, apparently more than 2 hours after the bomb detonated. Suspicious much? Why were they not on scene before 12:49? The police and all the photographers got there, so enough cameramen got there. So why couldn't the fire brigade? They love this number. 22 people. That comes up again and again. As we were talking in the live chat with Philip Wright, that the B also came up. And Misha from Oz, greetings. Good to see you in the live chat. End of daylight saving is messing with you. I am actually running, I started this stream as I did last week at 11 p.m. I'm still going to finish about midnight, so it will only be an hour-long one tonight. I will be concluding, we will be playing out with the third instalment of my reasonable request blog posts that I audio book in, basically. So yeah, that'll be just before midnight. Philip Wright said I shouted boom when I get in for a James gig in December. I showed Sick Guy had a quiet word with me. I remember you saying that, Phil, right? We're getting lots of pictures of people in bikinis. And I think I know how I can get rid of that. Press that little button. Philip Wright, guess fire services weren't in on this fraud. No, they had to wait, by the sounds of it. So yeah, they were still removed. There were so many suspect things that went on with this case, and was picked apart. Mr. Keelan had earlier told the inquiry that he'd been off duty when he returned home from dinner. Just to let you know, actually, a very good YouTuber who covered this and is our friend, the UK Critical Thinker. He doesn't upload so much anymore, but he's still got a channel. Well, I'll link you to it. Actually, if I get an interruption in the live stream, I do have a video ready to play in which it involves UK critical thinker, myself, and another YouTuber, Amazing Grace. Yeah, he did a wonderful job of putting together all the information that completely exposed this for the fakery it was. Not only him, a lot of people did good work. He told the hearing, I knew at some point, either throughout that evening or early hours of the next day. Right, let's start again. Mr. Keelan had earlier told the inquiry that he'd been off duty when he returned home from dinner and saw events unfolding on the television. After several phone calls and messages, he then went to bed, but not to sleep, he said. I wonder what he was going to bed for then. Perhaps he had a hot night planned with his partner, and he has to go into a appeal if this inquiry ever happened. Who knows? Perhaps this is just staged, just another reason to get the story in the press. But otherwise, he hadn't gone to bed to sleep. Mr. Keelan said he was aware that, in essence, only the Chief of Fire, Peter O'Reilly, was on rota in a leadership role. That's a pretty good person to have available, the Chief Fire Officer. That is someone in charge. I knew at some point, either throughout that evening or into the early hours of the next day, I would have to take over the strategic responsibility for the organisation. So I needed to make sure I was in a capable manner to do so. He was occupied and conscious. Paul Greeny, QC, counsel at the inquiry, asked, so insofar as any criticism has been levelled at you through other witnesses, the fact that you took some rest, that is a criticism that you would wholeheartedly reject. Yeah, he needed to be ready. So, not all people are being celebrated quite as much as this person who's organised a football game to mark the fifth anniversary. While the Chief of Fire gets, or whoever that guy was at the fire brigade, gets dismissed. The first police officer on the scene, Aaron Lee, former police officer, since this event he's become a celebrity, I guess. He was first on the scene and still in close contact. And then they go on about the team sheet, the usual suspects, all the fake names: Paddy McGuinness, Wes Brown, Matt Letitia. And this person, he spoke at the funeral, or he recorded something for the funeral of one of the victims of this thing, Martin Het. Just basically justifying to people why it's okay to cry or not to cry or not even to care because you haven't got a clue who any of these people are. I have featured him in a video. Let's hear what rubbish he comes out with now. Let's see if his something amazing's happened actually. If you didn't catch my live stream that I did in a week, I can now play audio through the through YouTube, so you no longer have to listen through my speakers. Remember, you always used to get the echoes whenever I played like videos, which is brilliant. It means it means I can invite people on a lot easier than I could before now. I can't necessarily do StreamYard because it just doesn't work on this computer. But there will be options. Anyway, so I can play this video and hopefully, fingers crossed, the audio should come through. This is a little tester, a little demonstration. Alright, this is, what's the guy's name? Mumford. Jason Manford, sorry. Said he was honoured to be asked to take part, but was feeling nervous about his performance on the pitch. No one cares about how you play football. Alright, let's listen to him.
It's a pleasure to be asked, and obviously.
Right, I'm just going to listen, see if that played through the. See if that played through. Okay.
Very humbling to be involved in that. At the same time, it's terrifying.
Right. I think the audio's better than it used to be. Basically, I can mute myself and it should still play. Maybe we'll try that. Okay, I'm going to start this guy talking again and mute myself. See how it gets on.
And obviously very humbling to be involved in that. At the same time, it's terrifying to be playing football in front of actual people. It's not my number one skill set, but what I lack in skill, I make up for enthusiasm.
How much training have you done for today, Jason?
I last played football 18 months ago at Soccer Aid, and I've not kicked a ball since then. I've had 2 operations since then on my ankles and my shoulders, and so I'm falling apart, if I'm honest. So yeah, it'll be an interesting.
Okay, I think the sound was alright in that, wasn't it? I'm just maybe a bit quiet, but hopefully not too bad. Yeah, I can now record my desktop audio during live streams. I can play what comes out of the speakers. Yeah, fundraise. Right, all proceeds from Manchester Remembers will go to 5 charities set up after the attack. The Chloe and Liam Together Forever Trust. Wow, let's check that one out. Lives Trust, that is who we just looked at. In the pre-show, we played the Olivia, whatever her surname was, arranged her mother's funeral posthumous. No, that's the wrong word. Before her death, basically, she had arranged her mum's funeral. So of course, she's got a trust in her name. The Megan Hurley Foundation and Remembering Nell Foundation. Alida's Trust. A fundraising target of 100 grand has been set. Wonder what this money goes to. Think of the reality if Olivia, whoever she was, never really died at that funeral. Whereas I want to see the Chloe and Liam Together Forever Foundation Trust. See what shady characters are involved in that one. Look up. That's not what we want. Yeah, bear with me, guys. We're okay, we're just going to look up this one of the charities that makes a profit from these sorts of events. Of course, just like we're seeing at the moment regarding the Ukraine, fundraisers galore are being had. You can't go anywhere without being asked to donate. I've noticed other collectors are taking advantage. Other shops are starting to put information about their own, asking if you want to donate to charity. Right, about us. Maybe, oh wow. The Chloe and Liam. Our mission is to inspire and support others to achieve and reach their full potential through the love of sport and performance. Forever Trust raises money. I'm just curious if it's actually being done in memory of 2 people, of Chloe and Liam, whoever they were. Here we go. We got it. Yeah, May 22nd. Thank you for reminding me of that one, Philip. I should have remembered. May 22nd. Hi to David in the live chat. It absolutely is bollocks. Completely agree. Philip Wright. Manford looks like an FTM. They all do if you look closely at them. the name I was searching for earlier, Ariana Grande, someone may have put it in the live chat. Sorry if I overlooked it. But it's irrelevant. I mean, obviously they did very well off for this. Right, on the 22nd of May, the world was horrified by a senseless attack on the Manchester Arena just minutes after Ariana Grande had finished her show. That is actually untrue. She was still singing. The music was still going on. Apparently she came on for an encore or a second encore. And it meant that, it detonated before the music had finished, basically. On May the 22nd, just minutes after Ariana Grande finished the show and fans were leaving the arena to head home, 22, there's that number again, comes up everywhere. 22 people lost their lives that evening and over 500 more were injured. Among those tragically lost their lives was 17-year-old Chloe Rutherford. Is that the one whose mother said, oh, she's probably somewhere with lots of KFCs and boys? And I looked up what country has the most KFCs, and it's China. I'm not sure if this is the same woman or not. It looks like a different person, actually. Her 19-year-old boyfriend, Liam Curry, from South Shields. It takes amazing strength and courage in the face of a senseless tragedy to be able to help others. But Chloe and Liam's loved ones were determined to do something positive in their memories. So they created the Chloe and Liam Together Forever Trust. Their parents, Mark and Lisa Rutherford, and Caroline Curry, were given the Special Recognition Award at the Pride of Britain. What a load of crud. Pride of the North East Awards earlier. Oh, right. They didn't get an actual Pride of Britain Awards. It's Pride of Britain, Pride of North East. So they were regional champions of this thing. Earlier in this year, recognition of all the hard work they'd put into the trust, but not worthy of... Okay. Before they collected the award, Jade Thirlwall and Perry Edwards, who are 2 quarters of Little Mix, and what a vile, disgusting group they are, and also from South Shields, paid tribute to the families in a video and work they've been doing within South Shields. Donate now. They will be getting a cut of this football match. Yeah, we'll have a look at... I want to look closer at some of these two. I'll find the person whose mother said... Let's have a look. Manchester Arena victims. Here we go. Do you find it... Personally, I find it hard to believe that they would ever name all 22 people that lost their life in an event like this. There was one of an IRA one done back in 1996. Manchester bombing. Nothing new under the sun, hey? Right, what are we looking for? We want the casualties, that's it. The attacker, once again, that number comes up. The bomber, Salman Ramadan Abidi, was a 22-year-old British Muslim of Libyan ancestry. He was born in Manchester to a Salafi, whatever that is. Oh, it is a reformed branch movement within Sunni Islam. The name derives from advocating a return to the traditions of pious predecessors, the 3 generations of Muslims, etc. Neighbours described the Abidi family as very traditional, super religious. Abidi and his elder brother, apparently, despite the fact that Salman Abidi's brother was thousands of miles away in another country, he was actually charged. He was indicted and charged for the murder of all the people that took part. Absolutely insane, if you think about it. Imagine being accused of murdering someone, and they say, what's your alibi? Well, I was in another country. We don't care, we still think you did it. What? Have you lost the plot or something? What a world we live in. Right, I'm trying to line up the screen a little better. Right, just have a look at the live chat. Yeah, thanks to Philip, David, and Michelle from us for taking the time to comment in the live chat. Philip Wright confirms it was a Tuesday. The Andy Holy interview on BBC's Comedy Gold, a real life Superman. Was he linked with this one? We could certainly have a look at it. As I said, we can now play audio through the. Basically, it will come directly to YouTube. It won't be playing through my speakers, so we could watch some interviews. That is very real possibility. Although I am only going on till midnight, I did say that, so I can't. We'll try not to go too late. Philip, right, the foyer was closed off to the general public to play out the act. No doubt it was. And all they got to do is say, oh, suspecting terror attack. And even 10 minutes, 15 minutes before it happens, if you clear the area soon enough, when people go home and see it all on the news, and they're like, yeah, they had shut it off because of that. And you look at your clock and you think, oh, I thought that was 10 minutes earlier than it really was. Right. A BD sister claimed her brother was motivated by the justice of Muslim children dying in bombings stemming from the American-led intervention of the Syrian civil war. Imagine if even this thing, what they're claiming about the American-led intervention of Syria, what if even that is not as reported? Meaning that anyone that does try and join one of these organisations, if anyone does in reality, I'm sure they'd swiftly be arrested, but yeah, we'll have a look for an interview in a minute. All I wanted to do was find the name of the casualties. There we go. Do they list it? The first doctor on the scene was off-duty consultant anaesthetist Michael Delay. Let's see if that name you mentioned comes up. David, it was just publicity for her. The record sales were low. Yeah, no doubt. Perhaps she didn't even have a choice. But none of them. Yeah, they're not mentioning the names by the look of it. I'm sure we can find it. Right, Andy Holy. Let's have a look for that one. Philip, right, they closed the McDonald's down in the foyer where they acted out this fraud. No way they could have carried it out with it open. Okay, good to know. Right, I wonder if Andy Holy comes up on this, comes up in the Wikipedia. Andy Burnham, sorry, that's the MP. One of two matches. Andy Burnham. Okay. We'll look it up separate to this one then. Andy Holy. Interview. Andy quiveringly pisks the next few hours of formal. Okay. Have I got the name correct? Is this someone? I'm pretty sure this was someone with. Let's see. You never know. Half of the videos that came out at the time, maybe they. Yeah, if you have any links to these vids, as I said, some people put some really good work up on YouTube about this situation. Okay. Right, Andy Holy, YouTube. Our Tube. Okay. No idea what this is. I've never heard of Our Tube, I don't think. Hopefully it's not something I would regret playing. This guy, brilliant. Right. Hopefully this will load, okay? Can't guarantee it, but we'll give it a try. We'll try and... it's not working very quick at the minute, unfortunately. Just check we're not having any technical difficulties. Okay, that page has crashed. Okay, I'll lose that one about the firefighter, the football match. Yeah, this is playing ridiculously slowly. In fact, maybe somewhere like 153 News or BitChute might be the place to try and watch it, if this doesn't load in a minute. Philip Wright was a Scouser. Okay, I know one of them was a ticket tout. I do remember that. Clearly acting his role.
In my last video,
this is the UK critical thinker. He's this is one of his videos that someone has put on another website, so I'm sure he won't mind us playing it. Although of course he's got his own stuff. We'll try and find it on his channel in a minute, and perhaps we'll play that.
Mentioned a guy called Andy Holy as a guy who was in the foyer, and when the blast went off,
I would like to take this video from the original source actually, rather than from a re-upload from someone. So bear with me 2 minutes, and we'll find the correct one. Goodness me, Tube, what's that all about? All right. David says, within 2 weeks they had a tribute concert at Old Trafford. Think about the logistics. You're absolutely correct. Couldn't realistically work out. No chance. Could you set up, even just to get the celebrities? It's very unlikely. Right. I'll just find the video. I'm pretty sure it's still up here on YouTube. Yeah, and then we'll maybe take a quick 5-minute error, and when we come back, yeah, we're going to have to start thinking about winding down, because it's getting on for midnight my time. Right, UK, right at the bottom of my list. Hopefully his channel hasn't been taken down. Let's see, have we got Andy Holy? Yeah, this guy done some excellent videos, so I am going to put a link to him in the live chat. Bear with me a second. And I'll also put a link in the description. Right, hopefully we can find Andy Holy. I should have thought we will. If not, we'll play it from Paul Robinson, Joel Goodman. Perhaps it's mixed in with some of these other ones. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, which is fine. We'll Okay, this is, wow, it's 23 minutes long. We're not going to play the whole thing. And I am going to put a link to it in the live chat also, as well as in the description. We'll play this for 5 minutes or so. And yeah, and then we'll be back for the second part of the stream. Yeah, as I said, for once I don't have to apologise for you hearing me crashing around in the background, because you won't be hearing me crash around in the background. I will be able to mute myself. Hello to Random Games, good to see you in the live chat. Thanks for joining us. Andy Holy. Right, I see Philip Wright has shown a video, or sorry, shown a link at least. Amazing, they all know the distance they were from the bomber. We'll have a look at this after we play this video, with the audio hopefully playing alright. Yeah, good to see you in the live chat, Random Games, by the way, and hope you're doing well. Yeah, I meant to WhatsApp you, by the way, Random Games, so please, yeah, forgive my delay. Alright, literally, I'm going to be back in 5 minutes then. I'm just going to use the facilities and you won't hear me crashing around this time. So yeah, this is an excellent video by a really good researcher, UK critical thinker, about Andy Holy, suggested by Philip Wright. When we come back, yeah, we'll do the second part of the, we'll have the second part, which we won't be going too long. Maybe a tiny bit after midnight, but it won't be too much after that. Alright, I'm going to mute myself for a second. Oh my goodness. What happened there? Hope it wasn't like that for too long. Okay, my apologies. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully the screen wasn't lost for too long. Okay, sorry guys, here's my intermission video.
Events, mainly because he was in the foyer at the time of the blast, and there's very little information really from the foyer that we're able to use to sort of pinpoint what actually happened and where. So like I say, what we're going to do is we're going to look at Andy's versions when he spoke to the BBC originally. He did a further interview the following morning, and then he's done a couple more interviews with the Liverpool Echo, which is a newspaper based in Liverpool. So let's start with the BBC interview that he did an hour and 20 minutes after the blast.
Let's talk to Andy Holy. I think who's on the line. Andy, hello to you. I think you were waiting for your a couple of family members who were actually at the concert.
This particular news technique, it really grates on me because it's almost like coaching. I mean, for the purposes of this video, even though I'm saying that he's on the line at 1 hour 20 after the bomb has actually gone off, for this guy to have known the story as to what he's going to be saying must mean he was connected to the BBC even earlier than that. But unfortunately, we don't know how quickly he got through to them. So, like I say, it will come back to the time because it will be important to the story.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't go to the concert, my wife and daughter did, so I was waiting up at the first set of white doors. As I was waiting, an explosion went off and it threw me through the first set of doors, about 30 foot to the next set of doors. When I got up and looked round, there was about 30 people scattered everywhere. Some of them looked dead, might have been unconscious, but there was a lot of fatalities. So my first thing was to run in the stadium, try and find my wife and daughter. When I couldn't find them, I went back out, and with the police and the fire and ambulance, whoever was there, I looked at some of the bodies, trying to find my family. But luckily, they weren't there. Managed to find them outside the arena and got them back to the hotel we're in. But I phoned up because so many reports coming in that it was like a balloon and things not happening as it was. It was definitely an explosion, and there's definitely a lot of fatalities.
Right. I mean, we're actually looking at the police statement from Greater Manchester Police confirming a lot of what people have been saying. A number of fatalities have occurred as a result of this. A number of other people have been injured as well, and people are being told to avoid the area. This explosion, a lot of force then, it actually blew you off your feet.
Well, I'd been talking to one of the arena girls in a yellow coat while I was waiting for my family to come out. And me and her got through the doors towards the wall where they go in. And she got up, she was all right. And then I got up, looked around, and then it was some force. I mean, my ears are still ringing now, so I might be talking a bit loud. But it was, the whole building shook.
So what Andy has said here is that he's standing at the doors where it says City Rooms entrance, and he's chatting with someone from Showsec about this. The bomb goes off, it sends him through the doors over towards the arena, so the top left of this picture. He then gets up, he goes into the arena to see if he can find his wife and his daughter, doesn't find them, so he goes back through the doors, past through the City Rooms entrance label, and sees that there's loads of dead bodies on the ground. With the help of emergency staff, he then turns the bodies over as he looks for his wife and daughter. They're not there, and he ends up meeting with them at another part of the entrance, and they all go back to the hotel. Now, what seems strange is that he's making an emphasis about wanting to ring up the BBC almost to squash the rumours of the balloons that were popping, because there were people that were saying it was speakers, air conditioning unit, balloons. So he has rang up to tell his story in order to reaffirm that this was definitely real. Now, of course, everybody who's seen Andy Holy already has pointed out that this guy he's in the blast radius, and he's completely uninjured. I mean, he's saying that his ears might be ringing, so he might be shouting, but in actual fact, he sounds perfectly fine, and he's certainly suffered no injuries whatsoever, which he will later confirm in another interview. So here's the other BBC interview he did the following morning, and notice the time, it's first thing in the morning, 7:15.
To one of the staff on the door.
And she had the door open to the concert hall?
Yeah, she had the door open, and when the explosion went off, I think if the door had been closed, I'd have been one of them, but because it was open, me and the girl got blown through the door.
And you were blown, you explained this to me earlier, sort of 30 feet, you were blown off your
Well, I'd say it was, I don't know how far I went, but I got thrown quite a bit. My ears popped, the noise was horrendous, the floor shook. Then when I got up, there was just bodies everywhere. So the first thing I done, I ran into the stadium, and everyone was getting evacuated the other way. I couldn't see my family anywhere. Tried ringing them, no signal, nothing. So I just phoned my mum and brother, and I said, keep trying to ring them. And then I went back, and as horrible as it is, I had to start looking at people who were lying on the floor, seriously hurt, in case it was my family. As I said earlier, there was, well, it's come out with more now, but I thought at the time there was 20 to 30 fatally injured.
Okay, and your daughter and your wife were okay, weren't they? They were still inside.
They managed to get out the other way, but
Okay, I'm going to stop plagiarising the UK Critical Thinkers work, and I will thoroughly recommend you check out his channel. The link is in the description. As I said, really detailed coverage and breakdown of the whole Manchester event, and he covers other subjects as well. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to him, but you're subscribed to me, well, then I would say, you know, yeah, you're missing out. Wonderful YouTuber, right? Yes, so I'll catch up with the live chat and see how it's going on. Philip Wright, 30 foot, another hoax, 30 people dead, 33 coded. Yeah, of course, they always squeeze in their numbers one way or another. This guy here, Andrew Forgave, you know, I could watch these videos all night, but unfortunately, it is getting on. Andy Forgave, looks like that is a theatrical bald head, basically. Random Games asks, can we watch these links after the live talk? I would recommend you check them out at your pleasure. They will be in the description if you haven't already read them. Let's see. Philip Wright, liar. Yes. I guess you're on about these people, Andrew Hooley. Yeah, there was a couple of other things I meant to look at. Links I was going to have a look at. One of them was, it was about Prince Andrew. It maybe not even worth bringing up, but I just thought it was quite funny. He was being apparently he was involved in. Here we go. He was caught up with a Turkish. Basically, he took part in. Have you ever received one of those emails where someone claims that they're a millionaire and they've got loads of money they need to get out of the country? Can you provide the bank? And all you got to do is pay him a ton of fees. Anyway, supposedly those things really happen, and they involve people like Prince Andrew. Well, this cookie consent form completely ruins what I'm trying to do. There we go. Yes, but what I found quite humorous, it's a lawsuit by a British High Court by a Turkish millionaire. What do you think they could think of for a name of the Turkish millionaire? Andrew is not a defendant, and there's no suggestion of wrongdoing on his part. No, never can be. Except he was paid loads of money, apparently. He received huge sums of him and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, alleges that she was deceived by her financial advisor, Salman Turk. We've got a bit of a mix-up going here. Salman Abedi, from the MEN thing, and Turk. He's a Turkish, what should we call him? I'll just call him Mr. Turk. We don't have to be imaginative about this. After fleeing Turkey for the United Kingdom, Isbilen was allegedly told by Turk that they needed to make a nearly $900,000 gift to Andrew for assistance in obtaining a new passport. So he may claim no wrongdoing, but I wonder if he received that's not a lot of money to pay for a passport, isn't it? $900,000 to get a new Turkish passport. They were trying to rip off some old woman, apparently. Some video here about Prince Andrew. Settles the abuse lawsuit with Virginia Grief. What to know, what we want you to believe is what they mean. Apparently he's settled the lawsuit. The payment occurred 9 days after the Turk was given the People's Choice Award by Andrew and Entrepreneurship. So, Mr. Turk and Andrew were certainly in cahoots. This wealthy old lady claims she paid him a stack of money, and I don't think they ever helped her. The payment also, they basically just ripped her off by the look of it, also came just days before the Prince's damning BBC Newsnight interview regarding his relationship with the notorious paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. According to documents seen by the Telegraph, Isbilen alleges that claims were made by Turk, by the Turk, it should be. They've just deleted the word "the" with Andrew were false. The representation that Mrs. Isbilen needed to make a gift to the Duke of York was false, and Mr. Turk made it dishonestly, knowing it to be false and intending Mrs. Isbilen rely on it. So yeah, apparently he's got his I want to see this thing about him, but for some reason it's gone on to videos about Trump, so that's not going to get us very far. But yeah, apparently I didn't know he had settled the lawsuit. Perhaps it'll tell us about it if we read on. Weird character. And what was the other thing? I forget. Random games. No problem. It's both me. By the way, if you're not aware, Random Games, I do have a second YouTube channel now called Chronicles of the Unconvinced. The link is in the description. Actually, on that channel, I will be making available the third part of my unreasonable request story, my account. I will shortly be uploading part 4 to Patreon. So I'm going to play out tonight with that video. Oh, I remember actually Philip added a link. Let me just find that one before I finish for the night. Let's see. We will have a look at that one. Open in a new tab. Okay, this is a link provided by Philip Wright. I'm guessing it was this one. Okay, Manchester Arena inquiry. Apparently, only now, these inquiries are still going on 3 years later. Bomb victim's mother praises PC's action. The mother of a man killed in the attack has thanked the officer who covered her son's body in the aftermath. British Transport Police Officer Jessica placed t-shirts over the body of 32, there you go, get that 32-year-old in there, Philip Tron, after he died from his injuries. The father was one of 22. In the bombing inquiry, she also heard details about Olivia Campbell Hardy, who we watched a video about at the start, Michelle Kiss and Jane Tweedle. 22 people were killed, hundreds more injured when a BD detonated a device. He didn't detonate anything. He apparently plugged in a pressure cooker. That was the official line, certainly at the time. Mrs. Tron's mother, June, told the public inquiry into the atrocities. She was waiting in the car outside the arena when when she heard an explosion and knew immediately it was a bomb. Although interestingly, she knew it was a bomb immediately. People inside the arena were saying that they thought they'd heard a balloon pop. They thought it was, or the speakers popping. So they certainly didn't know immediately that it was a bomb, but of course this person does. But then, as we saw in the video by UK Critical Thinker, we had Andrew Holey phone up the BBC just to confirm, yeah, it was real, it happened. He knocked the door saying, "Mum, I owe you one," while flipping his middle finger to make me laugh. What? Mr. Tron from Gateshead had gone inside just a few minutes earlier with his partner, who was killed, to collect his sister. She described how he had played a prank on her as he got out of the car. He knocked on the door saying, "Mum, I owe you one." Weird. The inquiry heard Mr. Tron, who was approximately 13 foot from the bomber at the time, died of multiple injuries. Okay. Random Games. Okay, I will join. Think I might have already. I check. Thanks. Yeah, if you're not already, yeah, please subscribe. Yeah, I can't remember. They all know the distance. Yeah, Philip Wright points out that distances were all easily established. Jane Tweedle's daughter said she was a warrior mum. The inquiry heard Jane Tweedle from Blackpool was about 45 foot away from the explosion when the bomb went off, and she died from an unsurvivable neck injury. Her friend Joanne Aaron managed to get her to the exit before she collapsed when she and a member of public, Sean Gardner, tried to get her help. Police and first aiders tried to give her CPR, and she was then covered in t-shirts and later a white sheet. Do you think they had a stack load of these t-shirts that they just basically, so apparently a lot of the people reported that they were using t-shirts for tourniquets and stuff, so they probably claimed there was thousands of t-shirts that they had to make use of to their insurance company. Yeah, I still want to find the person whose mother said that they were away. I can't remember what their name was now. I'll probably play in with next week's video with that one. But yeah, that is going to be it for me tonight. But thanks for sharing the link, Philip Wright. Andy Forgate is a good video. Okay, is that one on here? Yeah, oh, Andrew Forgave, here we are. It's 17 minutes long. Yeah, it's over on UK Critical Thinkers channel, so yeah, I certainly point anyone over there to check that out. Okay, I'm gonna have to finish, I'm afraid, as it is getting quite late my end. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys who took the time to tune in. We are playing out with a last part of my with a video. Okay, right, bear with. Why are we on the pre-show? What's going on? I know what's going on, actually. Right. Yeah, all right, before we end, I would like to say, if you would like to help this channel, give it a bit of support, you can do a couple of things. First, if you could hit the like button, that would be much appreciated. That helps to recommend it to other people. Subscribe if you're not already, and share it on social media if this content is the sort of thing you would be happy to let those people on Twitter and Facebook, WhatsApp watch. Yeah, so like, share and subscribe, always appreciated. And if you want to be a little more adventurous than that, then I am over on Patreon, patreon.com/BZlines. Big thanks to Linda Mack for her support over there. There is a QR code on the screen now. You just have to point your camera at it or click the link in the description. That is where you will get to see and hear and read first the concluding part of my unreasonable request story. Yeah, this video will be over on BitChute also, as well as my Chronicles of the Unconvinced channel. Speaking of Chronicles of the Unconvinced, I do plan to start doing live streams. I don't know what will happen if I click this. Oh, right. Yeah, that is yeah, I'm going to start doing a couple of live streams in the week, maybe. They'll be a lot shorter, a lot more to the point, specifically looking at specific subjects. Okay, yeah, big thanks to the following: Random Games, Philip Wright, Misha from Oz, David, and I think that's pretty much everyone who's taken the time to comment in the live chat. Of course, I started a lot later this week than normal. I normally start at 10, I didn't start till 11. But you can okay, yeah, we're gonna watch. This is the third installment of my story. If you want to read the fourth and final part and watch the video first, then yeah, check out Patreon to see it first. Otherwise, should have the video up next week, all being well. We'll see how it goes. Have a good week, everyone, and yeah, thanks for taking the time to tune in. Good night. Take care.
Got an itch I can't scratch.
Unreasonable request, part